The 2.5-inch leveling kit from Rough Country is available for any Silverado or Sierra owner looking to pick up a more entry-level kit to gain some ground clearance, fit a bigger wheel and tire package in those wheel wells, and of course level out the exterior appearance of the truck at the same time. This particular kit is just the bare necessity, so expected to be on the more budget-friendly side of the spectrum, under the $200 mark. And the install, I am going to give it 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Does not require any drilling or cutting, but it is a little more involved than a direct bolt-on. Taking a closer look at this particular setup here, it is a very mild jump over the factory setup with only a 2.5-inch lift, but it does let you do a couple of things once it's installed. The square wheel wells we have on the Silverados and Sierras very much limit your wheel and tire options as far as aftermarket ones go, but this one installed 2.5 inches does allow you to get a 33-inch tire, up to a 33-inch tire as recommended by Rough Country. Anything bigger than that, you might see some rubbing. If you do want to go bigger than that, I'd suggest looking at a bigger lift kit. The bigger the lift kit, the bigger the tire you can fit. Now obviously, a lift kit of any size can have a pretty big impact on the exterior appearance of your truck, especially if you opt to go with a bigger wheel and tire package. After all, you definitely don't want to look like you skipped leg day with a big lift kit and those tiny stock wheels, so I definitely recommend looking into up to a 33-inch tire. Picking up a lift kit such as this gives you a couple of different ways to become more capable with your truck. Not only are you getting the wheels and tires, already talked about that, you're also going to level out the truck, we touched on that as well, but you're going to become more capable off-road when hitting the trails. Basically what that means is when you lift your suspension and the frame of your truck off the ground like this one does, 2.5 inches, you are going to be able to tackle those bigger obstacles when hitting the trails. Now if you picked up, say, just a body lift, you're going to get the appearance aspect and gains of course, but you're not really going to reap anything off-road. If you find yourself hitting the trails a little more often than not, suspension lift is probably the way you want to go, such as this one. If you're really not hitting the trails, you're not really going onto the work site, maybe you're just going for the appearance aspect, a body lift can definitely do the trick as well. Taking a closer look at what comes in each kit, you're going to be picking up some fabricated 2-inch rear lift blocks to replace the OEM 1-inch options. This is going to be a higher quality than the factory cast ones, so keep that in mind. You're also going to be getting some strut extensions, extended U-bolts for the rear of course, and all of the hardware to go along with it. Everything you see here is going to completely replace the factory stuff in order to get you the 2.5-inch lift. So everything you see on the table here is obviously just the bare necessities. There's really nothing more to it, it's just everything you need to get the leveling suspension lift that you're looking for with nothing more. Because of that, it is going to allow it to stay on the more budget-friendly side of the spectrum, just around the $150 mark. With that said, if you're looking for a little bit more help and you'd like some more shocks and struts and suspension capabilities to really improve the overall off-road experience, there are tons of more premium options that would fit your preference, but of course this is for the guys out there just looking for the bare minimum. Taking a closer look at the install, we actually have this installed on our 2013 6.2-liter Sierra in conjunction with a 1.25-inch body lift, just to give it some extra height and add some bigger wheels and tires, obviously all personal preference. With that said, I am giving this a 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Really not too tough from start to finish, 2 to 3 hours at the absolute maximum. No drilling or cutting, but it is a little more involved than a direct bolt-on. You want to have a ratchet and full socket set on deck, and before we jump into it, full disclosure here, this particular kit is built for factory cast steel control arms. If you have cast aluminum or stamped steel, you want to make sure you're selecting the proper one at checkout to fit your particular build. First thing you want to take care of, get the front end of the truck in the air, support it on jack stands, remove the wheels and tires to gain access to the suspension. Once you have the front strut removed, you can actually install the front strut spacers to the top of the strut tower, reinstall that to the upper strut mount, press down on the lower control arms, align the holes, and torque it down to spec, all of which included in the manual. Once that's taken care of, you can put everything back together on the one side, repeat for the opposite, and you'll be good to go to the rear. The rear is going to kick off the exact same way. Get the truck in the air, support it on jack stands, make sure it's secure. From there, you can just remove the factory U-bolts and the factory 1-inch lift blocks and make way for the new upgraded 2-inch options. With that, you might have to lower down the frame just a little bit, but once you squeeze in the new fabricated blocks, put in the extended U-bolts to compensate for the lift, reinstall everything exactly the way it was, repeat for the opposite side, and you're good to go. Obviously, it is a little bit more involved than a direct bolt-on like a cold air intake, but obviously not the toughest job in the world. With that said, it pretty much wraps this one up, so if you're the owner of an 07 or newer Silverado or Sierra, you might want to check out the Rough Country 2.5-inch suspension leveling kit, available right here at AmericanTrucks.com.